first U.S. intelligence and now a top British intelligence official says that Vladimir Putin might not be getting a full picture of what is actually happening in Ukraine, might not be seeing images like this.
Putin is an excellent case study for what happens when people have too much power for too long of a time.
This is a Russian tank. It was completely destroyed by Ukrainian resistance, the turret blown clear off. This entire village was just taken back by Ukrainian troops who drove out Russian forces. And according to NATO estimates, as many as 15,000 Russian troops have already been killed here in Ukraine, and Ukrainian officials put that number even higher.
This guy had it made. You know, he's on top of the country. He's not just the president of the country, but what he says goes. He's the dictator of Russia, right? This man's illegitimately one of the wealthiest men alive due to embezzling the hell out of his country. You know, he's a historical figure. There's nothing for him to complain about. He gets to do anything he wants. But, of course, that wasn't enough. And not only was it not enough, but it wasn't enough so much to the point that everyone around him is not going to tell him no. So it's no surprise the reports are coming out that Putin doesn't really know what's going on the ground because, you know, one would question if he did, would he even be doing this? Would he even have made the decision to invade Ukraine? Just how, you know, far out of the loop is this man really to have believed that waltzing into Ukraine not only would be something that he could successfully pull off, but for him to not even think about the repercussions of that. Like the world would just accept it, even if he did succeed.
U.S. and British officials say that Vladimir Putin's generals and top advisors are too scared to deliver him the bad news, and that calls into question the usefulness of peace negotiations.
Russia is, their whole country has tanked. You know, inflation skyrocketing, people are having trouble buying groceries, the ruble has tanked, their central banks can't exchange currency, they're totally cut off from SWIFT. I mean, it's going out even into cultural things. Russian athletes are being banned from participating in tournaments. Russian shows are being taken off of air. I mean, they are being shut down at a rate that we've never seen before. And he's still waltzing on ahead. So, of course, this man doesn't know what's going on. But like we talk about here all the time, at the end of the day, it's really not looking good for Vladimir Putin. It's getting to a point where it's like, look, until this man is out of office or just gone in some type of way, then it's going to be difficult for Russia to really come out of where they are, because why would the world invest in the Russian economy if Putin's still in charge of it?
Because if Putin doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand or isn't being told about the true cost of this war, it's difficult for him to make cost-benefit analysis, meaning potentially those peace talks have no use.
Now, Russia is no stranger to losing unnecessary amounts of soldiers. I mean, just look at Russia throughout, you know, the history of war, you know, World War II. Look at how many Russians had to die for Joseph Stalin to pull off what he did. You know, so this is nothing new, you know, but again, if tens of thousands of Russian soldiers dying aren't getting to the ears of Putin, if that's not making a difference, you know, again, like you pointed out, peace talks with Putin, how well is that really going to go? You know, at the end of the day, this is the bet he made for himself. It's not looking like he's going to succeed fully, but at the same time, the Russian army is no joke. And, you know, now that he's on the world stage saying the nuclear option is not off the table, all for, you know, his own glorification so that he can be the new czar to expand the Russian empire once more. Man, this really is a bad situation, and it's going to drag on for a while more before it comes to a close.